Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Good evening. Bahamas coming up in our news tonight. Union leaders weigh in on recent issues, saying they feel disrespected. The Pan American Health Organization is warning against social gatherings. Officers in Grand Bahama say traffic incidents on the island are on the decline. Plus, a new Bahamian artist hits the airwaves. Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Georgia Bain. Topping news tonight. The Bahamas has officially recorded over 10,000 COVID-19 cases. According to the Ministry of Health's latest dashboard, 74 cases were confirmed on Friday. 60 of those cases are on New Providence, 10 on Grand Bahama, 2 on Andros, 1 on Abaco, and 1 on Eleuthera, bringing the country's total to 10,050 cases. 51 of those confirmed cases are hospitalized. The COVID-19 pandemic showing no signs of easing in the region, according to Pan American Health Organization Director Dr. Carissa Edian, who revealed some startling statistics during this week's press briefing, with some 1.5 million new COVID cases and up to 40,000 new COVID-related deaths.
In the last week, our region reported more than 1.5 million new COVID cases and nearly 40,000 COVID-related deaths. Over the weekend, the world reached a tragic milestone. More than 3 million people have lost their lives to COVID. And nearly half of these deaths happened right here in the Americas.
The Bahamas reporting 50 new cases on Thursday. 49 of those cases are hospitalized and 2 additional COVID-related deaths were also reported. As cases continue to rise, Edian condemned those who continue to spread conspiracy theories and misinformation about the COVID-19 virus, ultimately costing lives.
Not all sources are worthy of trust, and insidious rumors and conspiracy theories continue to spread, inspiring fear and costing lives. Today, misinformation is one of the most serious threats to our public health. Because unreliable information spreads quickly, PAHO is collaborating with tech companies like Twitter, Google, and Facebook to address fake news and to ensure that the public can easily find accurate information.
According to Edian, the most dangerous aspect of these conspiracy theories is that it promotes vaccine hesitancy.
But we all have a role to play in stopping these rumors from spreading online or in conversations. When we read or hear something that seems outlandish or impossible, it probably is. Before sharing something, we owe it to each other to check the source and confirm that the information is true. This is only common courtesy. And if you have a doubt, please don't spread it. Misinformation is most damaging when it fuels vaccine hesitancy.
The PAHO director assures residents in the region that all vaccines being distributed through the COVAX facility have been properly vetted.
Today, vaccines are helping turn the tide of this pandemic. Any vaccine or medicine can present side effects at a certain level. When national regulators license a vaccine or medicine, or when WHO grants a pre-qualification or an emergency use listing authorization, they weigh the benefits versus the risks. The vaccines delivered through COVAX have been thoroughly assessed by the WHO experts. The benefits of these vaccines in preventing infections, hospitalizations, and deaths outweigh the risks of side events.
When Dukins Joseph flew into Haiti in December, he expected to enjoy the holidays with his family before returning to Nassau for the new year. Well, that holiday trip turned out to have a hefty price tag attached, as the Bahamian resident is still stuck in Haiti. Our Christina Dragovich tells us more.
A holiday trip to Haiti has Bahamian residents shelling out much more than they planned, as ongoing travel bans between the Bahamas and Haiti have them stuck and losing wages. Charlene is a teacher in Nassau, and her nephew, Dukins Joseph, left the Bahamas to spend the holidays with his mom in Haiti after she took ill. Joseph was scheduled to return to Nassau in January, but that's when the first 30-day travel ban on Haiti was introduced.
We said, okay, well, we'll just have to deal with it. And so another month went by, and now he's scheduled to come sometime in March. And again, he went through the whole process, spent $300. That is the price of the coronavirus PCR test in Haiti. And the Bahamas stipulates that it must be done at this one particular lab. And so that is the only price that they offer this PCR test at.
Then he rescheduled for February, but yet another travel ban left him out another $300 with no idea when he would be able to return home. If you're keeping track, that's now $600 on RT-PCR tests alone for a flight Joseph has yet to take.
So now it starts to be a little bit disheartening, because the whole point of wanting to come back was to begin working so he could further help his mom, who is not doing well health-wise. And so he wanted to be able to return to the Bahamas and start working so that he can assist in that way.
The same story in March, and now April. Test costs are racking up to the tune of $1,200, as are living expenses. And Joseph isn't the only one feeling the pinch, according to Charlene.
There are a lot of other people who are there on workers, a work permit status, that are also facing the same issues, that have paid for countless tests. And these extensions keep going into play.
Our news spoke to human rights activist Luby George when the first travel ban was introduced back in January. At the time, the Bahamas government said it was concerned about a possible spike in cases due to Haiti's annual Carnival. Now, George says it appears there is a new reason for the extension.
The most recent reason given in that we have a travel ban on Haiti because they do not have a vaccine program, in my opinion, is counterproductive, because the longer we keep the ban, it means the longer we are subjecting Bahamian citizens and residents to the conditions or the COVID conditions in Haiti.
George says he understands that steps must be taken to protect populations from the spread of COVID-19, but now he says Bahamians and other legal residents are being held hostage by the travel ban.
We choose to have Bahamians and other legal residents held hostage in Haiti. It's very unfortunate.
Each month, the risk of people losing their jobs due to the ban becomes more and more real. Reporting for our news, I'm Christina Dragovich.
And union leaders say that they will be presenting a comprehensive workers' agenda to political parties as they feel that they've been sidelined for far too long. About 20 union leaders gathered saying that they simply feel disrespected. Our Jillian Gray has that.
For the last couple of years, the relationship that we had with this government has certainly deteriorated, and workers across the board is under attack.
Union leaders say they feel disrespected and unheard, as many of them have outstanding matters with their employers. During the pandemic, members of the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union contracted COVID-19 on the job, according to president of that union, Kyle Wilson. He says despite the hardships they face, they were rewarded for their hard work by the company raising their medical benefit payment. His colleagues in the BCPOU and Busuwu say they've been waiting on outstanding payments since January.
You write them letters, they don't say anything. So only through legal means, and that's an expensive venture. So they're trying to run out the clock, kick the can down the road, and burn out the finances of the unions. This is unacceptable. How did we get to such discourse?
They took advantage of being able to access my members before working hours, after working hours, And now, since January, we have an outstanding increment.
We presented a industrial agreement proposal to the corporation. May 21st coming will make 3 years, and they have yet to counter the document.
Meanwhile, Daniel Thompson of UTEB and Zane Lightburn of the Educators Managerial Union say their litany of issues range from lingering industrial agreements to not promoting workers.
We have persons being used in terms of putting people in position and not promoting them or compensating them properly, but making them carry out their duties or carry out other duties in higher positions without properly filling these positions.
The lack of respect is shown by the preparedness of the campus. On the one hand, the university speaks of being ready for return to campus in fall. But as you were to visit the campus, there's a lack of preparedness.
There would have been a mass exodus from education if not for COVID-19, according to Lightborn, who says morale is low. TUC President Obie Ferguson took issue with the fact that workers have been furloughed for over a year and their redundancy benefit is dangling in the air. He says his heart goes out to Sandals workers in particular, as that hotel's reopening date was pushed back yet again.
It will be approximately 20 months. Those 600 or 700 workers are out of work. But still you have individuals making the case that they should not be paid redundancy pay. Well, how could you expect a group of people who haven't worked for now 20 months or 4 more months will give them 2 years? How do you expect them to survive?
These unions are encouraging their members to register to vote for the next election, as they say that's the only way their voice will truly be heard.
I remember the old people say, I bring you in, I could take you out. Be careful how you treat the trade unions. Yes, people, go and get registered. Make your voice count. You only have one vote, but that's a powerful vote.
We stand united as workers, as leaders of the labor movement, to fight on behalf of our workers, notwithstanding the challenges that may exist.
Reporting for our News Weekend, I'm Julian Gray.
In just a matter of days, the Bahamas National Trust will hold a dedication ceremony for the Mariah Harbor Key National Park. Our news team visited the area and spoke with the Exuma B&T representative and business owners who rely on its beauty for their business. Our Jasmine Brown reports.
One look at these waters in South Exuma and it's easy to see why the Bahamas National Trust has turned it into a national park. B&T Exuma program coordinator Catherine Booker says it's a natural beauty.
The Mariah Harbor Key National Park, and it is a beautiful example of many different diverse ecosystems, seagrass beds, coral reefs, sandbanks, sand dunes, and just even a collection of endangered species. The iguanas are here in the Mariah Harbor Key National Park. The conch, Nassau grouper are endangered, and they're found here in the park, in elkhorn coral. But this area has been traditionally used by the communities of Hartswell, here in Rolltown, Forbes Hill, and the ferry as places to fish and collect silvertop palms. And the B&T, the Bahamas National Trust, is very interested in helping to preserve those traditions as well as the ecology of the area.
Mariah Harbor Key National Park was established in 2002 and covers 13,440 acres, and its marine environment is a vital part of the ecosystem between Great Exuma and Little Exuma. The marine environment includes a wide array of habitats, including sand dunes, pristine beaches, mangrove creeks, and seagrass beds. A variety of bird life also nests here, including nighthawks, plovers, oystercatcher, and ospreys. The key also has a mangrove ecosystem vital to the protection of juvenile crabs, crawfish, conch, snappers, yellowtails, and groupers. For business owners who have the pleasure of overlooking the area, they say it's a dream come true.
It never gets old. I didn't grow up with this. So it's hard to come here every day, even if you wake up with one of the worst mornings ever. It's hard to drive over that hill and see this and still maintain that same mood. It's breathtaking, and it's always something new. It's a low tide, it's a high tide, it's even on a gloomy day. It never gets old.
It's also a huge draw for visitors who appreciate the untouched beauty of Exuma.
When the visitors come here to the restaurant, some of them attracted to nature a lot. And so what happened is sometimes they want to walk across to the quay, because you can walk across to the quay from here. At low tide, the water will probably come by T&E. As high as it's really going to be, but they like to come here, go walk the sandbars, walk on the quay, check the quay out, walk on the backside of the quay. Sometimes they go and they pick up shells and stuff as well and come back and bring them in here.
Warrior Harbor Key National Park will have an open house and dedication ceremony next week. Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Well, officers on Grand Bahama say more presence on the street have lessened the island's reports of traffic accidents. Officer in charge of Grand Bahama, Ashton Greenslade, says the increase of drivers using due care and attention is encouraging for officers on the island.
I'm happy to report this morning that in recent times, on my way to and from work, or whenever I'm traversing the streets of Grand Bahama, the vast majority of drivers are driving with due care and attention. Every so often I see a car driving reckless, but the vast majority of people, the vast majority of drivers now are driving with due care and attention, and that motivates me to bring joy to my heart.
Grand Bahama officers announced earlier this year that they would be increasing their visibility on the streets. Greenslade says the heightened presence has prevented many accidents.
We ease back on the road check. You haven't been seeing much road checks recently, right? And again, so far for this year, we haven't had one traffic fatality. I mean, I don't like to call numbers, but you know, it's the police and the community. We all working together.
CCTV is on the way to help monitor traffic on the island.
That's coming to Grand Bahama also. It's coming. Eventually, it'll get here. But so far this year, so good, you know, and we're going to continue to enforce the law in a respectful way. But when I see persons driving, when I'm out there on patrol or just going or coming from home, and I see persons driving with due care and attention, I say, wow, that's what I would like to see all the time.
Also to come on our news, a new Bahamian artist is making waves with a legend. Plus, the Red Cross gets a new home over on Grand Bahama. That and much more. Stay with us.
Why do we have programs and commercial in Spanish?
Unfortunately, the Bahamas and the rest of the English-speaking Caribbean is lumped in with Latin America, and the giant US networks send us Latin American feed into this region.
Oh, so that's what the message means on YouTube and Netflix.
Exactly. Restrictions on regional rights impacts all content providers for Cable Bahamas and our regional partners. The fight is about getting English-speaking content into the Caribbean, which we've been very successful doing with HBO, as well as ESPN Caribbean.
The Bahamas Red Cross Center breaking ground on a new facility on Grand Bahama this week. Bahamas Red Cross Society President Therese Curry says approval for the new center has been months in the making.
Pinnacle Investment Corp Construction was selected as the preferred contractor after 19 bid requests, 9 bid submittals, and an evaluation of 7 bids that met the Grand Bahama Port Authority requirements. Our building permit was granted by Grand Bahama Port Authority on February 10th, 2021. Phase 1 of the construction is expected to be completed by November of this year, with a construction period of 7 months.
The Disaster Reconstruction Authority Managing Director says NGOs such as the Red Cross have played a substantial role in the authority's progress post-Dorian.
The move toward recovery and reconstruction can only happen with the help and assistance of non-governmental organizations and NGOs like the Bahamas Red Cross. who, like many other NGOs, have supported the work in our communities by taking on projects like this new building to be constructed here. We cannot underestimate the work of the Bahamas Red Cross throughout this country. The work with our youth, reminding young people early of the need to appreciate volunteerism, its first aid programs, feeding programs, shelter programs, and of course, disaster management.
According to Curry, the new building is needed to better facilitate the needs of the Grand Bahama community. Curry says those needs have only been escalated as a result of Hurricane Dorian and the COVID-19 pandemic.
The building that was here was built in 1960. We got it from the Grand Bahama Port Authority in the early 1970s. And so it has served the communities of Grand Bahama exceptionally well over the many years, from West End in the west to Sweetings Key in the east and everything in between. However, needs have increased, and so what we need to do, we need to increase what we have to offer, and not just during the times of disaster.
Well, when our news comes back from the break, a new Bahamian artist has some big plans to take over the airwaves. Plus, our very own Christina Dragovich gives us a taste of the world in our Social Saturdays. That and much more. Stay with us.
Ramp and Alive have moved some things around just to save you time, and trust me, I think you're gonna love it. For bill payment, visit any of the following Alive locations: Cable Beach, Harbor Bay, Mall at Marathon, Palmdale, Prince Charles and the Kenneth Plaza, and the Southwest Plaza. For sales, visit any of the following Alive locations: Cable Beach, Mall at Marathon, Palmdale, and the Southwest Plaza. For equipment testing, visit Prince Charles location and the Southwest Plaza. For customer support, visit our Prince Charles, Harbor Bay Plaza, Cable Beach, and Southwest Plaza locations. Log on to www.ramp.bs for answers to so many frequently asked questions, including ways to pay, customer support, and so much more.
You're watching our news. Thanks for staying with us. New Bahamian artist Sanique has big plans to take over the airwaves, and she's well on her way, starting out the gate with rake and scrape legend Ira Store.
I feel it down in my body, if you feel it down in your body, if you feel it down in your soul, let me hear you say yeah.
It's always been the 18-year-old's dream to sing, and now that dream is quickly becoming a reality.
My name is Sanique James, and I live in Andros, Bahamas, and I'm gonna sing Impossible by Chantel. Tell them all I know now, shout it from the rooftop, ride it on the skyline, all we had is gold now.
I was 3 years old. My favorite song was We Belong Together by Mariah Carey. I would sing that every day, non-stop. Well, now I'm 18. And it's actually great to be singing, especially in the Bahamas. Well, with my writer, Mr. Kelpie Forbes, and the great company that I'm a part of, Recap Productions Bahamas Limited, I feel like I'm gonna do great.
Those were humble beginnings for the teen, who now finds herself singing with Bahamian rake and scrape legend Ira Store.
Well, when she told me that I was gonna be Mr. Store on the song with me, I was excited. So I was like, that's a legend. And so for me to come out with a legend, that's good. Well, I wanted to go far. I want my music to reach people and change their life.
Sanique has the full backing of Ira Store himself, who says he believes she's going to be the next big thing.
She's going to be great. No one has never seen her perform as yet, but I've seen her in the studio. And listen, she got some moves, man. I gotta watch her, because when we start to perform this song, I gotta be ready, because this young lady, man, she got energy.
As for what's next for Ira, he's working on several different projects, including a gospel album. He says young artists like Sanique keep him encouraged.
Myself, I have a young band, and right now, I'm trying to move them forward. So the more inspiration we get for the young people with the culture, then we can proceed in our Bahamian culture and do more and make the Bahamian public appreciate what we're offering to the country.
Sanique and Ira's new song, We Rakin' and Scrapin', is now available on all digital platforms. You can also visit sanique.hairnow.com.
We raking and scraping till the morning come. We killing the road, yes. We getting on down. We raking and scraping till the morning come. We mashing the road, yes. We getting on down.
Well, we take a taste of the world when our news comes back from the break. Stay with us.
You are truly gifted at what you do.
All who are weary, come to me, and I will give you rest.
I have worked too hard to get us to where we are, and hell will freeze over before I let you take us backwards.
I'd like to pray for him. He's alive!
I don't want to be a burden. I was just trying to get back to Alvin, and you took me to heaven.
Why do we have programs on commercial in Spanish?
Unfortunately, the Bahamas and the rest of the English-speaking Caribbean is lumped in with Latin America, and the giant U.S. networks send us Latin American feed into this region.
Oh, so that's what the message means on YouTube and Netflix.
Exactly. Restrictions on regional right impacts all content providers for Cable Bahamas and our regional partners. The fight is about getting English-speaking content into the Caribbean, which we've been very successful doing with HBO, as well as ESPN Caribbean.
Well, this week's Social Saturday is sure to tease your taste buds and even take you back to the 90s with a little dancing. This week's Social Saturdays comes from our very own Christina Dragovich and Jerome Sawyer, who got to hang out with our friends over at Showman Bistro last night for the first ever mukbang. You may be wondering what exactly that is. Well, it started off like this.
Cheers.
Cheers, we're just wide open, aren't we?
Yeah, very much so.
And after that cheers, they were treated to the full Showman experience. And boy, from the looks of it, it was truly a treat.
Spicy tomato ragu with feta cheese.
Oh my goodness.
Hold on, don't go anywhere. It's, I'm big on pronunciations. So, Lebanese falafel? Okay, with?
That's a spicy tomato ragu.
Wow.
I'm ready for it.
Grilled octopus and calamari.
Ooh. Grilled octopus and calamari.
And this made up an orzo salad. There's a little kale on top.
Ah.
We'll take some black olives and the feta cheese.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Vinaigrette dressing.
I like grilled octopus.
The team took a break from the delicious cuisine to hit the dance floor with DJ Fines. And then Christina showed us her moves and showed off her singing talents.
I dance to that, though. I mean, on principle,
It's a classic.
It is a classic one. They're like, what it?
And then guess what? They ate some more.
What are we eating here now?
This is a spicy cauliflower rice bowl.
A spicy cauliflower.
Spicy cauliflower rice bowl. It's on a bed of spinach. Coconut-infused rice. Fried avocado on top. We're going to taste the little toasted walnuts in it.
Ooh.
And there is cilantro.
I love cilantro.
So, voila.
Thank
you. You got to be real.
This.
You can smell, the spices are emanating. Oh, wow.
And I have to be polite and wait for you to get your plate.
So kind of you. All right. Give us the rundown.
This is Grandma A spicy grilled chicken. It's on a bed of cloth, which is an Indian rice. So it has saffron, raisins, carrots, and chickpeas.
The team surely enjoyed the experience, but be sure to follow Show Manny Bistro on social media for the next mukbang event and much more. Well, thank you for joining us for our news. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Georgie O'Bain, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Stay safe, Bahamas.